All right, joining us now live on set is Dr. Brian Anderson. He is a professor out at the W. He's been with us pretty much all morning long talking about the election and where do we go from here. One of the things I wanted to ask you, what do you think the first thing is that Trump's going to do once he's officially in office? Is it repeal Obamacare? Is it go after foreign policy, NAFTA? A lot.
I would say Obamacare is probably the first. It's something that is grating on many Americans because the latest statistics show that premiums are going up, and there's a lot of dissatisfaction with it. But he has to be very careful because once he takes that down, then there are millions of people without coverage. And he has promised to replace it with something better, but we haven't seen any details of what that is. So if I were him, right away I would assemble a team to have that package ready so that in January people are convinced that it will be a positive change.
NAFTA. He railed and
He
called
did.
Bill Clinton, you know, I don't want to use his language, but basically he said it was the worst deal ever done.
Yeah.
Can you explain NAFTA for our viewers and then also talk about the changes ahead?
Right. Well, the simple part of it is that free flow of goods between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, and largely seen as an opportunity for American companies to relocate to Mexico to take advantage of cheap labor and weaker environmental standards and workplace safety standards. But largely, it's one piece of a larger globalization picture, which Trump supporters have rallied against in this election. They don't like the idea that these pacts can be created by government and business elites that will suddenly mean your job is gone, or that a sense of how Americans make something and consume things is now replaced with cheaper versions from China, cheaper versions from Mexico. And so people maybe want to reset that and have a more American-centered economy.
This is the whole bring back jobs to America. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a nationalistic, nativistic, protectionistic perspective, if you don't mind a lot of jargon from poli-sci.
I like it.
But it's on him now to show that he can actually turn the economy back into one that's more American focused.
And what about the stock markets? We had some stories a couple of moments ago that said the stock markets are plummeting in a sense. And does that happen usually after an election, or is that
An election of this magnitude, they will.
Okay.
We saw it with the Brexit vote back in June in the UK. But what we're seeing here is with that strike against globalization, all these companies, all these investments that go across oceans are now called into question. Is there now going to be a trade war because he's promised to reestablish tariffs against countries that he believes don't trade with us fairly, like China and Japan? And we do so much business with those countries that obviously any company with investments over there is going to worry that they're going to feel a pinch too.
okay? Interesting.
Small business owners, though, less regulation. That was one of the fewer rules.
Right.
Let businesses do their thing.
Right.
Is that accurate?
Oh, absolutely. And I think you're going to see support from the Republican Congress in that direction, feeling that there's too much environmental and other regulations, so we'll have to see how this pans out.
Definitely.
Doc, it is really a pleasure having you here this morning. Can you come in every day this week?
Please do. Break down every story that involves politics, and it all makes sense.
Maybe not at this hour, though.
Yeah, I know, right? More like midday. I got you. All right. Thank you, Dr. Anderson. We've got more with Dr. Anderson. And what are we doing next?
We are going to weather. Isaac has been keeping an eye on our forecast all morning long. He joins us now on the Green